What is up with Bigfoot? Welcome to Rachel and David's Traveling Adventures. In an earlier video, I talked about our son heading off to medical school this fall, and I thought it would be a good idea to have some family experiences before he heads to school. I planned out 2 such adventures for the family. Our first adventure happened a couple months ago when we went skiing and tubing at Wintergreen Resort near Charlottesville, Virginia. This brings us to our second adventure, which will also take us back to Virginia as we bike the Virginia Creeper Trail. I learned about the Virginia Creeper Trail from a former boss some years ago who was an avid biker. The Virginia Creeper Trail is a 34-mile trail that has got to be one of the best trails in the nation, going from Abingdon, Virginia to White Top Station near the North Carolina state line. So back in February, I did some research and found a handful of bike shops in Damascus, Virginia that will rent bikes and shuttle you to the starting location for the Virginia Creeper Trail. Adventure Damascus Bike Rental and Shuttle Company is the one we chose. They will shuttle you to either end of the Creeper Trail if you want to do half the trail, or they can drop you off at one end and pick you up at the other if you decide you want to do the whole thing. The other great feature is they can reschedule at no charge if something comes up, which is exactly what happened to us for our original date. We had storms almost the entire week. I just called them up and they rearranged the date for us without a problem. On a weekend in April, we headed up a day ahead of the bike ride to get a room. We stayed in Abingdon, Virginia at Hampton Inn. Abingdon is located in southwest Virginia, just north of Bristol, Virginia. The town has several historical significant sites, such as the Abingdon Muster Grounds, Sinking Spring Cemetery, White's Mill, and of course the Virginia Creeper Trail. It also features a fine arts and crafts scene with its galleries and museums along Main Street. For dinner, we made reservations at Forrester Restaurant in town, just down the road from the hotel. Located at 190 East Main Street in Abingdon, Forrester is a fairly expensive but high-quality restaurant. Now, the decor doesn't match the price of your bill with all of the artificial trees and garland, but that isn't why we came here. We came for the food, and boy does it meet the bill. Rachel and Phillips love to order charcuterie boards, and this one was on the pricey side, but wow was it good. The meats and cheeses were of very high quality, and I even got in on the fun, and I rarely nibble on a meat and cheese board. Now, Rachel also loves carpaccio, and she said it was good, but it had just a little bit too much lemon juice. She said your lips aren't supposed to pucker when you eat carpaccio. I went simple and ordered spaghetti with meatballs because, meatballs just sounded good. There was enough for an army. I only ate a portion of the meal and took it back home where the 3 of us had another meal out of it. In addition to the excellent food, we also had specialized cocktails. Each of the cocktails were super unique, so we each got a different one so that we could taste all 3. Rachel had the clearest blue drink, which was good to its name. I had the Final Girl. I love my drink with the mixture of the gin, the lemon, and other ingredients. But I think Phillips' drink called Make Them Gold was the highlight drink of the table. They were all amazing. Now after dinner, we decided to head back to the hotel. And I didn't see this when we came in, but look at this. Well, first of all, we're right next to a farm with cows. But even funnier is this electric charging station right next to where the cows are. Okay. Well, we're going to head back into our hotel and get some rest before tomorrow. The next morning, we had a typical Hampton Inn breakfast, after which we headed to Damascus to pick up our bike and our ride to the top of the mountain. The folks at Adventure Damascus Bike Rental and Shuttle Company were super friendly and helpful in many ways, from picking out the correct bike to putting the bike on the vehicle for transport. After about 10 minutes of loading up everything, we took a full van of 10 riders on a 30-minute curvy ride up the mountain to our starting point. If you have a little tendency for motion sickness, I would highly advise that you sit as far in the front of the van as possible. When we got to the starting point, the driver quickly unloaded the vans and made sure that we had an emergency repair kit for our bikes. I didn't even think about that, so that was a nice surprise. It would not have been fun to have to hike all the way back to Damascus with a bike with a flat tire. Okay, we're all stoked for this ride, so let's go. Getting started with a group of riders can be a bit slow for the first quarter mile, but after that it wasn't a problem going forward. As I said at the beginning of the video, the Virginia Creeper Trail starts in Abingdon, Virginia, and is a 34-mile ride up to White Station inside Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. The trail got its unusual name from the early steam locomotives that would struggle slowly up the steep grades with their lumber loads. Having failed to turn a profit after the Great Depression, the Creeper ran its last train on March 31, 1977. The trail gained new life in 1984 when it was designed as the National Recreation Trail. Over 150,000 people use the trail each year, and it was inducted into the National Rail Trail Hall of Fame in 2014. I didn't know that such a recognition existed, and now I want to learn about biking other trails in the Hall of Fame. The most popular approach to riding the trail is to start at the White Top Station, which is 3,600 feet above sea level, and to bike the 17 miles back to Damascus, which is the one we chose. With a 5% downhill grade most of the way, the ride is easy for beginners and families alike. The Virginia Creeper Trail National Recreation Trail offers scenic wonders from dense forests, open fields, and beautiful waterways to railroad relics and cute little towns. There are a lot of trestles along this trail, and so many trestles that each is numbered with an identifying plaque at either end of the bridge. It originally had 100 trestles along the railroad. However, 47 trestles remain on the rail trail today. Some are quite short, less than 100 feet long, but the longest are more than 600 feet. The first 17-mile stretch to Damascus has numerous restroom breaks at its many trailheads like at the Green Cove Station. Green Cove Station is the oldest station on the trail and was once the center of the community. Green Cove Station had a post office, general store, and cargo location. Today it is a museum with artifacts on display like the original mailboxes, and it frequently features photography exhibits or live music from local groups. There is an awful lot to see along the way of the Virginia Creeper Trail. There is no doubt that you will see beautiful scenery along the way with the homes, the fields with the grazing animals on the farm, and the deep forest land. You will also get to see spectacular water views. One example is after you go through dense trees, you will merge to glide over bridges high above Laurel and Green Cove Creeks. Another thing that you'll see along the trail are the Christmas tree farms. Once you see them, you may start planning your trip up here to get that perfect Christmas tree for your home. The one cool thing to see while riding the trail are the various people along the way, both coming and going. Families biking, you have individuals hiking, and people just enjoying the great outdoors.
All right. Woohoo!
Woohoo! I couldn't zip up my jacket.
How you like this bike ride?
It's a nice bike ride.
Yeah.
Downhill all the way, buddy.
Yeah.
Besides all the things that you see along the way, or just biking straight to your destination, there are certainly many things that you and your family can do throughout the journey. If you are into or interested at all in geocaching, there are many opportunities to find geocaches along the way. I would love to have stretched out the day with geocaching, but I knew we had a little drive ahead of us after the ride, so maybe next time. Other things that you might want to do include wading in the water or just taking a bit of a hike. The Appalachian Trails weave in and off the Virginia Creeper Trail. I've always dreamed about hiking the Appalachian Trail. Now I know that I will never be able to do that, but I can now say that I have at least been on or even biked part of it. Another thing that I highly recommend is to enjoy a picnic along the way. After a little over halfway, our navigator Phillips had studied the maps and determined that we would stop off in a little unincorporated community, Taylor's Valley, to have lunch. The map showed us there would be picnic tables in this location. It really was a good place to take a break and enjoy our Easter leftovers.
All right, we're halfway there. Having fun?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's eat some lunch.
We had ham sandwiches, chips, and some cookies to energize us for the last leg. Once we finished lunch and we were getting ready to start biking again, I noticed this sign. What is up with Bigfoot?
Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Doo-doo.
Jaws for a Sasquatch.
But let's finish this ride strong. Now for the backstory of Bigfoot along the Creeper Trail. Apparently there was a TV show produced here a number of years ago that focused on Bigfoot. A number of individuals were interviewed who believed that they had encountered Bigfoot in the region. Most of the stories that were told had a common theme of spotting an extremely tall, broad-shouldered figure when they were in the woods. One of these individuals who had been hunting in the woods detailed a large, dark figure with long, matted hair that had walked up to him, looked at him for a moment, and then walked away in a zigzag motion. He is quoted as saying, "With my hand up to heaven, I know what I saw."
We have found Sasquatch.
Well, now I know why the warning for Bigfoot. After our encounter with Bigfoot, the ride leveled out for the final part of our trip back to Damascus. And just like that, we had returned to where we had begun.
1 sore butt, 3 ham sandwiches, and 17 miles, and you've completed the amazing Virginia Creeper Trail!
We did it!
Yay!
We had a blast, and I would do this ride again in a heartbeat. If you ever get a chance to bike the Virginia Creeper Trail, jump at the opportunity. You won't regret your choice. If you have ever been on the Virginia Creeper Trail, please leave a comment below about your experiences on the Creeper Trail and if you have any further recommendations. If you like what you see, please smash that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you soon on another adventure.
Okay,
3, 2, 1.
one sore butt, 3 ham sandwiches, and... Sorry.
And we don't remember what else. 17 miles.
Okay.